The Pokemon games, specifically the core entries, have remained faithful to the gameplay that was established with the first few games. Sure, there are some quality of life changes that have been implemented from game to game, but there hasn't been a major shake-up that makes it feel like a change of pace. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the latest game in the series and the one to deliver a shake-up to the core gameplay. The result is an experience that will hopefully become the standard for mainline Pokemon games going forward. Let's start off with the game's story, which sees your character conversing with a disembodied voice, which then tasks you with finding all the Pokemon in the Asui region, a bygone era of the Sinnoh region's history before it was actually called Sinnoh. You're then transported there via a space-time rift where you meet Professor Laventon, who takes you to Jubilife Village and introduces you to the Galaxy Expedition team. Being quite proficient at throwing Pokeballs and showing no real fear of Pokemon, you're then recruited into the Survey Corps to assist with creating the region's very first Pokédex. Thanks to this, your character will be involved in a series of events that makes you feel like a pretty big deal. The story is shrouded in mystery and you unravel more of it as you progress. I'm not gonna lie, it hooked me pretty early on and had me wondering why certain things were happening. Additionally, it expands on the existing lore, which is always a treat. The characters are entertaining too and are as animated as ever as they droop their eyes or smile wide at what might be happening in a conversation. Next, let's move on to the gameplay, which is pretty much the biggest draw of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Everything from the traversal to the battling takes place in the overworld, and it honestly feels like the open world Pokemon game that we've always wanted, even if it isn't technically open world. As mentioned before, you'll be helping with creating the Asuian Pokédex, and this will task you with exploring a number of different areas to document everything you can about every single Pokemon you find. Each one has a list of criteria that needs to be fulfilled, and these range from catching a certain number of them to seeing them perform certain moves in battle. You'll actually need to catch them all in order to fully complete a Pokédex entry, something that has been encouraged for the entirety of the series. The difference is that this is the first game where it felt fun and like something that I really wanted to do. Aside from the checklist for each Pokemon, you'll also be tasked with completing requests. These can be taken on by interacting with various NPCs across the region. Requests are little side missions that task you with investigating strange occurrences or catching specific Pokemon. While some of these can be simple fetch quests, a lot of them can reward you with crafting materials and in some cases, shiny Pokemon. Not only that, but it also shows off some nice interactions as you educate the people of Asui about Pokemon, resulting in them being less fearful. Exploring all of Asui can be quite a task when each of the areas feel so vast. Thankfully, as you progress through the game, various rideable Pokemon will become available, allowing you to traverse the land, sea and air in the best way possible. It really helps you to cover a lot of ground in a short time, and also gives you access to new areas that were previously inaccessible. One of the most addictive parts of Pokemon Legends Arceus is the active catching Pokemon. Instead of just hitting a button, you'll have to aim and throw the balls yourself, making it feel more like a game of skill than it is about luck. However, this also depends on the Pokemon's temperament. Some of them are so unfazed by your presence that they'll come right up to you, while others may run or even start attacking at the very first sight of you. It makes planning your approach quite important as you may need to alter it based on the situation. It actually makes catching Pokemon significantly more exciting and also rewarding because each encounter feels memorable. Aside from the regular Pokemon you'll encounter in the wild, there are also larger, more aggressive ones with red eyes called Alpha Pokemon. At first, it's best to avoid these monsters because they're at a much higher level and can destroy your entire team without even breaking a sweat. However, they never despawn, so it's quite beneficial to come back when you're at a level closer to theirs to try and catch them. Not only are these Pokemon big and strong, but they can also learn moves that might not be available in a non-alpha's repertoire. Speaking of moves and battling, Pokemon Legends Arceus tweaks things somewhat to add another layer of strategy. Once a Pokemon has mastered a move, they gain the ability to perform it in an agile or strong style. Agile style weakens the move somewhat, but you may be able to act again before your opponent has a chance to do so. Strong style does the opposite, where the move is strengthened, dealing more damage, but there's a chance that you might skip your next turn. It makes battle a little more strategic, and because the game feels a little more challenging, it's important to weigh your options before committing to a style. These also aren't compulsory though, and they need to be toggled before the move is executed, but they can make quite a big difference when used correctly. Another new feature is that moves in a Pokemon's repertoire can also be swapped out when not engaged in a battle, meaning that you don't have to say goodbye to one of your 4 moves when learning a new one. This is a much better approach and allows you to switch up your moveset without having to involve an NPC. While Pokémon Legends Arceus is a great first step in the new direction, it does stumble somewhat when it comes to its visuals. At times it looks pretty good, but there are other times where it can look a bit dated, not to mention that the frame rate can stutter now and then. The character models of the Pokémon you'll encounter look great though, and some even feature some new animations. The audio in the game is also pretty great when it comes to the soundtrack and sound effects, but the lack of a voice cast feels like a misstep, especially when the characters in the game are so animated. Pokémon Legends Arceus is just great. Game Freak have taken the existing formula and have tweaked it to deliver a fresh Pokémon experience. Creating the region's first Pokédex is a daunting task, but never actually feels like it. I enjoyed filling out the entries and finding the best way to catch Pokémon. The gameplay changes that are present in this game makes me incredibly excited for how future games will play. While it may not be the best looking game on the Switch, and it can be a little rough sometimes, it can be overlooked because of just how much fun it is to play. Pokémon Legends Arceus will be great for fans and newcomers alike, but especially so for fans who may have been looking for a reason to return to the series. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, and if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you got your hands on Pokémon Legends Arceus, please let me know what you thought of the game in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.